Okay, so hello everyone. Tonight is the Affirmation Workshop. I'm thoroughly disappointed that my email obviously did not go out in time to invite you properly and send you the link. I had a Mercury retrograde situation, a little glitch, so I'm so sorry for the confusion and any stress that might have caused to you. It certainly boggled me for a couple moments, but I'm just going to continue with teaching the workshop and sending you all the recording who signed up for it because that's only fair. I'm so sorry, and I hope that you forgive me and you will attend another event that I hold. So moving right along, gonna raise the vibrations back up. We're here tonight to talk about what affirmations have to do with confidence and holding strong beliefs, why it's not enough to write an affirmation on a Post-it note, and how you can engage your chakras by using affirmations. So we're going to keep a tight timeline, about 30 minutes, just to respect everyone's time now. And with that being said, each of you are eligible for a 15-minute consultation, complimentary, that I encourage you to take advantage of it, because if there's anything that I am unable to clarify through this call, or you want to know something really personally for the application, just let me know and I'd be happy to talk with you about it. So I'm Tori Rarick, pharmacist turned mindset coach, and I help people to focus on their emotions and develop emotional intelligence. My programs are designed to help women focus and increase their positive, happy vibrations so that they can use that as a reference point to pivot whenever they feel necessary. So specifically tonight, we're going to do a very focused training on affirmations. And that's a term that's sort of vague, but the lens that we're giving it through this solar plexus and through mindset make this workshop special. And belief is one of my 8 mindset principles of the Illuminate Mindfulness Academy. And so we're taking a microscope to one of those tools that builds confidence, which is affirmations. So your solar plexus, I keep touching this area of my body underneath my rib cage. That's your center of personal power, of self-esteem, of drive, ambition, intelligence, your mental abilities. And it has a very masculine tone to it. So there are many ways to heal that area, to direct energy to that area. For example, it's located underneath the rib cage. And many people hold their anxiety in that section as well, and tension. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But in terms of healing and directing energy, we can look at how we nourish ourselves. We can look at what we think about those parts of ourselves, what I just mentioned, self-esteem, power, all of that. We can tune into what we feel about those parts of ourselves. And so tonight we're going to talk mostly about the mindset piece through affirmation. And affirmations are phrases of self-empowerment. I use that term with mantra interchangeably. Mantra is more of a repeated word or sound. So I guess my viewpoint on affirmations is a repeated positive empowerment statement. So they're statements, and whether we're saying them in our heads or they're programmed into our subconscious or whether we speak them, it's a form of communication. And so that's where we bring in the throat chakra. Our chakras are interdependent, and that's one area of Western medicine that I like to soften a little bit. I encourage people to view themselves holistically and not as independent sections. So I'm glad you're here, because affirmations are very powerful. They influence what we choose to believe. And when people speak words, we either decide to agree or we decide that we don't agree. And that's the same as when we listen to our own self-talk and what we tell ourselves. So tonight we're going to work on belief, solar plexus energy. And this is really important to do because most people try to do things by their actions, by hustling, by making, and it's important to talk about the solar plexus because if we are not paying attention to how we're using this energy, we can burn it out. Solar plexus is yellow, so I imagine this yellow light beaming from our stomach, and that can be burnt out if we're not using our energy properly and responsibly. So instead of efforting your way, we're going to go to the root of how you spend your energy, which is your beliefs. Your beliefs are so important. They shape your attitude, which is how you perceive things, react to things, assign emotion, and think about things, which then affects how we act. So when we feel good, we might do this or not do this, this, and this. And when we don't feel good, we may or may not do a certain set of things. So another way of saying that is your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions, which create the result, which is your life. So if we can rewind back to the thoughts and really put a lot of intention into what we're thinking, that's a very responsible way to manage your energy. So mantras in general are kind of a beginner's subject, but it's fundamental to bring that intention and that focus to really build the practice and have it be meaningful. So that's why it's not enough to write an affirmation on a Post-it and then just be done with it. Looking at that Post-it and the words on it are important. Thinking and feeling about those words are important in that statement. Continuing to engage with what you choose, the mantra you choose, is what is important. So let's all feel into our bodies just a little bit. We can all take a deep breath. I need this. And just release the tension and the tightness in your stomach, especially under the rib cage. Those muscles, just do your best. It's honestly crazy how I can still protect and guard this area so much. I will not release my stomach unless I'm completely alone. I'm really not that kind of person either. Like, I will go to the bathroom with the door open. So to allow myself to relax that part of me in front of people especially is difficult for me to do. So go ahead and try that, and then just check in with yourself once in a while, even throughout this 30 minutes, and see if you've tightened back up, and just remind yourself to relax if you have. And since we're working with the throat chakra, communication, we can do a big clearing breath there, take a deep inhale, and then sigh it out. All right. So words are how we communicate, and we communicate within our heads all day long. So it is essential that we understand what we're communicating with ourselves and directing how we do this. Each of us are at different places on various subjects, but it might behoove you to begin to pay attention to how you're thinking about yourself and what's around you, and then how you discuss that within your head. So what are our beliefs? You know, this is like rhetorical questions for you to answer. What do we accept as true or not true? Tonight, we're either going to work on redirecting. We think one thing, but we want to think another because whatever we're defaulting to doesn't align with our true highest self. Or maybe we are just further enhancing and strengthening a belief that we're already aligned with and like the direction we're going with it. So you choose how intense and how deep you want to make it. But the throat, as you can imagine, is our center of communication, expression, freedom. And I like to just turn up the volume on the throat, which directly turns up the solar plexus, dials that up. And when we turn up our communication, we can strengthen our boundaries and protect that solar energy that allows us to go and to do and to act and to live in the world, make things happen. So what comes to your mind when I'm asking you, like, what do you believe? What do we accept as true and not true? What area of your life would you like to focus on more? Yourself, your career, finances, a particular relationship? You can get very specific there. So what I'd like to do now is just choose a mantra, and I'm gonna like try to make sure I'm checking the chat as well. Okay, got that up. Yeah, what mantra would you like to choose? So mantras could be I am statements. I am worthy, I am wealthy, I am a good this, whatever you'd like. It could be something that you're hoping results in a tangible material item, or like a job title, or finances. It could be a feeling, an emotion. It could be like worthiness is something that I'm going to work with tonight. So the main thing about mantras and affirmations is they don't work unless you believe them. So it is best to choose a thought or a statement that is a new way of thinking, or like stretching and strengthening a way that you're thinking, but something that you can definitely get behind. Because in terms of law of attraction, if you don't fully believe the thing that you continue to practice, you're introducing resistance, and like discord. The point of affirmations and agreements with yourself are to be in harmony. And so if you continue to think thoughts that you don't quite agree with, even if they're good thoughts, you're continuing to reintroduce that discord and that resistance and that judgment. So go ahead and type it out if you'd like to share it in the group. But tonight I'm going to use the example of self-worth. And again, I encourage you to do this practice by personalizing it. That's how it's going to be most effective for you. So self-belief sequence, the progression of building your momentum. When we start thinking new thoughts, even very simple, easy ones, they can come with some judgment because we're protecting ourselves, even with our thoughts. So we're just going to work with it and mold it a bit and move into what feels good for you. We're going to do a little bit of repeat after me, but use your personalized mantra. So let's first start expressing that our mantra, whatever we choose, I am worthy or I validate myself, is okay. Repeat after me. It would be okay for me to validate myself. Keyword okay. So like, let's just spend a moment here. What would that feel like? It would be okay to make more money. It would be okay to be single. You just allow yourself to get used to that idea. Sometimes we don't even let ourselves like think a dream, not even the beginning of it, because we're fearful or doubtful that the dream will even come to fruition. So we don't even think about it. So it would be okay, say your mantra. All right, repeat after me. It's possible for me to validate myself. Like, yeah, that is a thing that could happen. The universe has like how many outcomes that could happen. Get your energy behind it even more. So we're moving through this full sequence tonight, but in a true practice, if you at this point of possibility are feeling that resistance, stay there or move back down to it's okay and practice that for a while. You might work on one of these levels for a couple weeks or a month or even just 40 minutes really intensely. You decide what you believe. So it just takes whatever energy to get your brain behind it. So let's turn it up again. Repeat after me. I want to validate myself. You know, really considering something that you want to pursue and put more thought and intention into. You're, again, beginning to build the momentum. So repeat after me. I will validate myself. So I'm for real going to do that, right? And truly declaring that attention, bringing even more emphasis and liveliness and energy into it. Repeat after me. I do validate myself. Do or have present tense, or maybe I currently validate myself. So this might be a stretch for some people, but try to emulate these words vibrationally. This is how the universe communicates with us most effectively. So when you say I am and you actually feel it, then it is. It's happening. You've added that momentum to the manifestation of the vibration. So that feeling that it's happening is your evidence that it's true. It doesn't have to be yet in the physical world. It's already happening. So repeat after me. I have already validated myself. Or I have already decided I am worthy. So, you know, obtain the thing, make it past tense as if it's already happened to you, you've achieved it. This is the difference between doing something on your to-do list and having that thing checked off. When that check mark comes through, it's a different feeling, right? Doing the dishes like actively versus having the dishes done. There's a little bit of relief with the dishes done part. So if you can like feel the thing as already happening and just like release the tension even more. So take your mantra seriously, and through this sequence, at a pace that feels good to you. When you have it, you have it, and you own it. So whether or not time has caught up to the belief yet, we aren't expressing reality. We're expressing our truth. So beliefs, if we carry them long enough, they make a mood, a default of our attitude. And so the more that you work on this, the more it works in your favor. You put the momentum behind it, and this turns into the manifestation, the inspired actions, your changes in behavior, because your belief is behind it. Remember, beliefs, attitudes, actions. So your beliefs help you to create your boundaries as well. So once you're firm in your beliefs, you know how to support them and what is working against them. So really solidify what you believe and then begin to communicate it. So next I want to talk a little bit about energetic communication by utilizing your chakra system. So in order to do that, I need to give a brief chakra lesson. Your chakras are your energy centers, and they're part of your energetic body. And there are 7 major chakras along your spinal column. There are other meridians as well, but those are the majors. So first is at the base of your spine, and they go in rainbow order to the top. So red is your root chakra. It's your center, or in Sanskrit, they're technically wheels that, sorry about Rexmas, that work with security, safety, survival, and grounding, right? It's the closest to the ground. So then we move into the sacral, which is orange, your womb space. This is your creative energy, sexuality, emotional expression, your Shakti, your life force. So then we're going into the solar, which is underneath the rib cage. I've already explained mostly the color yellow, personal power, mental abilities. And then we move into the heart space, which is green. If you can imagine abundance, receiving, openness, unconditional love, compassion. Then we move into the throat, which is for communication. It's associated with the color blue. It's your expressive center. And when you express yourself, you find freedom. Then we have the third eye, which is all about intuition and vision and psychic power. And then finally, there's the crown, which is about enlightenment and oneness and transcendence and honestly, like just being out of this world, right? So we're going to tune our energies, or we're going to tune into the energies of each of these and practice acknowledging your chakra system. And we're going to do this, like incorporate the same topic that we did our first mantra on as we work through the chakras. So we're going to make this more spiritual, energetic communication about your mantra. We're going to go root to crown. So I just explained a brief overview of the chakras. So I think you'll catch on with what I'm trying to do. I'm going to keep with the self-worth and relate it to each of the chakras. So something like, it is safe for me to validate myself. It promotes my survival, to recognize myself. It makes me feel secure to determine my own worth. And then as we move to the sacral, I have the capacity to believe in myself. I create my self-worth. Loving myself can be sensual. Moving into the solar plexus, I am worthy because I am here. I believe in my worth, using that mental capacity. My work is worthy. And then moving into the heart space, I am open to feeling worthy. I love feeling worthy. My worth is abundant. As we move into the throat, I am free when I validate myself. I communicate my boundaries and preserve my worth. Moving to the third eye. With this one, you can really do the visualization aspect and spend some time here. So I see myself showing up as worthy. Visualize your highest self, visualize yourself as worthy, or making the money, or getting the phone call about something, or meeting that person you want to be in a relationship with. Like really take this one to the next level. Or like I instinctively or intuitively know my worth. And then crown chakra, the collective benefits when I validate myself. I'm euphoric about my self-worth. I'm connected by my worth. So this chakra practice is one of the ways to work intimately and holistically with your affirmations and the barriers that could come with it by addressing, all parts of the system. And so we're moving through these quickly tonight, but I do encourage you to feel out this practice and spend time with each chakra as it does feel good to you. So this next part is more about the integration and using affirmations as responses to your own thoughts and to people. So I used to use affirmations in a very passive way, very one-sided way. It was part of my practice, like just saying it or reading it once in a while, or, writing it on a Post-it note. I didn't really take it seriously as an active tool. But then it occurred to me to really use that solar power, that intelligent planning power, very responsibly by creating beliefs and boundaries and then communicating them. So to continue with my example of worthiness, you could prepare affirmations as responses to your inner critic or to your external critics. So when you're in a situation where your brain triggers the thought that you are not enough, you can respond with a prepared affirmation, rewind and redo it. So just replace that with your new truth. Something comes through and that you think, oh, I'm not worthy to do that. No, I am worthy to be here. You don't really need an explanation. I am worthy to be here, because that sort of dilutes the essence. So just, I am worthy to be here. Or if someone else were to verbally tell you that you're not enough, responding to them and having this prepared, I determine my value. You do not decide my worth. I hope that makes sense to all of you. So having affirmations prepared for your pain points is especially genius and helpful. So I have some time that I can take any questions that come up or anything I need to clarify. Yeah, go ahead and type them in the chat or unmute yourself if you'd like to. Sorry about all the confusion again. All right, so as I mentioned in the beginning, this affirmation work is something that I do one-on-one with clients as we work through the belief module of Illuminate. And there are 7 other principles that I teach as well. And I want to share that open enrollment for Illuminate is closing tomorrow evening. So Illuminate has 3 components. There's the one-on-one intensive, so 6 sessions of one-on-one coaching that's focused on your personal alignment, your attitudes, your actions, and then there's also immediate and lifetime access to the online course, which teaches my 8 principles and video recordings, supplemented by meditations and worksheets as well. And then the 3rd component is a private Facebook community where you have access to live streams monthly, coaching calls, a self-development, book club. So we stay connected. I'd be thrilled to work with you if you think you're interested in this. And that's where the biggest transformation happens, is truly the one-on-one container. So I'm going to just check the chat again. I don't see anything. Do you have anything to add, Katie? I see you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you could hear me.
No, it just happened.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, how, in terms of affirmations, like, because I obviously logged in a little bit late. I apologize.
Oh my gosh, it's not me.
I'm so sorry, girl. It's been a day. Jalen got a job. I'll tell you later. Anyhow, how do you go about, do you write them down on sticky notes? Because for me, I feel like I'm having a hard time remembering what affirmations really speak to me, I guess I could say, if that makes sense. Which one?
I practice that in so many ways. So I I work with different cycles. So kind of going back to arcs for self-care, like I follow my cycles and my seasons. So every new moon, every full moon, I try to pick an intention and an affirmation to practice. And then I write that as a sticky note and keep it on my altar and just come back to it daily. But then there are things that I'm continuously working on, my worth and my wealth, you know? So if I'm just having a bad self-worth day, I'm probably focusing really in on that and doing these practices that I went over tonight, like the belief building and the chakra building. But I would just keep like a document with all of your favorites and what they pertain to. So if there's something about relationships that really strikes you, keep that in a little folder and come back to it whenever you need. And then that last piece, like mantras as responses, I think is really important to just have in your back pocket. Like maybe you're not really working on something actively, but you'd like to have something prepared in case something triggers you and it comes up again, if that makes sense.
Definitely. That's what I'm thinking, is something for future triggers. You know, when you're feeling like you've got the light, everything's great. And then it's hard to remember those affirmations for me when I don't.
I
Thank you
feel
so
that.
much.
And create, you know, Louise Hay is like mom when it comes to affirmations, like she has it all. I'd recommend listening to her, and like using other people's is great, but like when you're in those feel good moods, when you are on top of the world and feeling good about whatever it is, write down how you're feeling, and then you can use that later because you've already activated that vibration and it's very personal to you. So whatever that sounds like or feels like, try to record that so you can come back to that exact place.
Oh my goodness, that's so brilliant. Thank you, Tori. Oh goodness, thank you.
I'm glad you made it. Anything else tonight, ladies? Okay, I'm so sorry about the email thing. Katie even reminded me today. She's like, I didn't get the email and I thought it was flawless. So apologies again. I hope that you can connect with me in the future. I'll send out an email with this recording to those of you who signed up, even though I said I wasn't. I'm going to do it for just these people who signed up because I fucked it up. So sorry. I love you. Love and light. Sign up for Illuminate. If Illuminate's not your thing right now, but you want to try something else, Spotlight Sessions is the next best thing. And of course, you can always access your complimentary call. I'd be happy to talk to you anyway. Okay.
Thank you, Tori.
Bye.